I've got my two dowel stops here. I want to mark everything out for this notch that I need to cut out on the bandsaw and the two holes that need to be drilled on each piece. So take a look at your plan, look at the measurements, and carefully mark out everything that you need on this plan. Okay, I've got the notches marked out on both of these pieces, but I'm not going to cut them out yet. First I want to worry about the holes, so we need to mark those out, and then we'll center punch them before we drill them. If I look at my plan, it's very important that you mark the holes on the correct edge. So if I look at the plan, it looks like the holes are counterbored from the bottom going up. So I'm going to need to put it so the notch side is down, and then I can mark the holes on this bottom edge here. Okay, I'm going to do a double check now with my plan. If I look at it, my notch side is up, but the hole is marked at the bottom on both of these. Now we need to set up the drill press for our counterbore. Our plan looks like this. We need to drill a counterbore. That means we need to have a larger diameter hole above a smaller diameter hole. We're going to do this so the screw itself is set far below the edge of the board. Here's your specifications. How this reads is this. It says we have a diameter of 1/8 of an inch through. That means this pilot hole needs to be 1/8 of an inch diameter, and it's going to go all the way through. We're going to drill that one second. First we're going to start off with the counterbore. That's what this means. This means we have a counterbore with a diameter of 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to need a 3/8 inch drill bit to drill this at a depth of 3/8 of an inch. Now when I look at this drawing, this measurement right here, before the cone starts, is 3/8 of an inch. This is not included in our dimension. Now, we're naturally going to get this triangular cone-shaped hole from the drill bit itself. So in this case, we're going to use our standard twist drill bit, and that's going to give us this cone-shaped hole to fit the head of our screw, since our screw is also cone-shaped. So let's go set up the drill press. Now I've got one of my pieces of material here, and we need to set the depth of this 3/8 inch bit that we're going to use for the counterbore. To do that, I'm going to mark off my depth right along the end here at 3/8 of an inch. Now I want to secure this piece of material into my vise just as if I'm going to be drilling it. Now I'm going to drop the bit down. We're going to match the straight part of my twist drill bit with my mark. Once that depth is at that mark, now we can set our depth stop and lock that in place. So I've got everything set, it's secured in here. Now I can go ahead and drill the counterbores on all 4 of these holes. Now I just finished drilling the counterbores. Let's set the drill press up for our through hole of 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to take out my 3/8 inch bit. We'll put in an 1/8 inch bit. The depth stop does not need to be set on this, but I am going to raise up my table so I don't have to drop the drill press down so much when I'm drilling. Now, the natural cone shape that the counterboard did here will help guide this 1/8 inch bit, so I don't need to go and center punch these holes. Okay, all of the holes have been drilled. Now I'm going to go to the bandsaw and cut out my notches. It can be kind of tough to cut out a square notch like this on the bandsaw. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to cut in here and then back out. And then what I want to do is come over to this side and I'm going to do a curve cut until it meets this bottom line. And I'm going to follow that all the way to the corner until this piece comes loose. Then I can go back in this direction and come back to this corner and then down here. That's the easiest way to make one of these square notches. There we go, I got my square notch. You have to be real careful that you stay tight to the line and keep it straight. So take your time, do it slow, because you cannot sand this down. It won't fit on the disc sander or spindle sander. Okay, so make nice, clean, straight cuts with your bandsaw. Okay, both of my dowel stops here are done. I'm just going to go and take some sandpaper or a chisel and kind of chip away any of these rough spots here and get all the burrs off. Otherwise our dowel stops are done.